We're on, Leonard.
Seriously? We are? We are? We're on? I didn't. She doesn't tell me when we're on.
You don't have to lean over.
Oh, you don't.
You're already
all right.
louder
Just
than me.
scratch my back, all right? There you go. Welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome aboard on a lovely Sunday morning. It is the return of the lady and the legend, and we're not driving 70 miles an hour on the New York State Thruway or anything like that. They're not on the George Washington Bridge. We're in the chat room, and good morning to you all. Before I forget, Nakahoma, you know Nakahoma, better known as Chris Cobb. Happy birthday to Nakahoma. All right, that's great to see. You know, Nakahoma, Chris Cobb has been with me for a number of years. And then, when life gets in the way, you don't come over for a couple of weeks and a couple of months. And then when you get here, it's fantastic to see Chris Cobb once again in the chat room. Good morning to you. We'll call him Nakahoma. Now, we see Eddie Heckman has made it into the chat room.
Eddie's crazy.
We didn't know. Eddie calls me up. Well, he didn't call me. It sounds as good. Thanks, SM King Turd. Eddie made a request. Let's not talk about the Orioles. That's what Eddie said. So we'll see what happens. But good morning to you all. Great to see everybody. Andy and I think a lot of stuff to go over, right?
Yes, we have a lot of stuff. We had a horrible experience trying to do this show from the car on Friday.
Well, everybody knows about that.
But that's okay, because we're going to make up for it today.
All
we
right.
have a lot to talk about, so let's get going.
First 3 days of the season. We'll call that, 35 games compared to 2022 last year, 34 games.
So the average time of the game last year was 3 hours and 8 minutes. This year, it's 2 hours and 41 minutes. There was even a game yesterday that was like 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Are you kidding me? Now I love baseball. Since I was 6 years old, I loved baseball. But now, I love it much better because it's 25? Because it's stupid.
Listen,
it's stupid.
What's stupid?
If the games are exciting and the games are good, who gives a hunky-dory or a bull dinky and poppycock if the game is 3 hours or 2? I don't know.
Okay, get this, though. We talk about stolen bases a lot. And last year, in the first 3 games of the season, there were 26 stolen base attempts. Guess how many this year?
I would say 67.
56.
Oh, 56?
Double. That's double.
26 stolen base attempts to 56 this year.
That's great.
And
there's been a lot of pitch clock violations.
Yep.
And JT Realmuto came out the other day and said that, you just feel rushed. And I think that everybody's kind of trying to get used to this stuff.
Yes.
We'll talk about some more pitcher violations, some more pitch clock violations. But I think that this is just a learning curve. Once these players get used to it, I know they're all complaining like little wussies, but they're going to get used to it, and they're going to pitch on a better pace, and we'll get this game over. I don't have a problem with the pitch clock. I really don't. I don't see the problem in a 4-hour game every once in a while either.
In a Philly game, they scored 9 runs, 7 runs. They had a lot of runs in one inning, and the players were coming up to bat, and they were rushing.
So what? They're just not used to it yet. They're going to get used to it.
That's not how you play the game. Since Abner Doubleday and I invented the game, that's not how you play it. You come up to bat, you fix
it is now, Leonard.
Fix your gloves, fix your cup, do all you got to do, and then get on with the game, okay? All right, so there you go. Jake Cronenworth and the San Diego Padres, 7-year, $80 million, big deal. All right, Cronenworth, he didn't make his Major League debut until age 26.
Well, you didn't say the most important part. You just went blah, blah, blah.
Well, what's the most important?
The Padres signed Cronenworth. They're in agreement on 7 years, $80 million contract extension. Then why'd you put it in the notes if you don't care?
I don't have it in the note, but it's just another core player for the Padres as they chase their first
It's the biggest deal ever for a player his age with less than 4 years of service time, but that's his own fault. Let's talk about Robbie Ray.
Well, you may not know about this, so we're here to tell you everything you want to know, you don't know, and you don't want to know.
What if you have you got Vaughn Grissom, Robbie Ray,
Well, you have
Verlander.
You have Robbie Ray too?
I have Robbie Ray and Verlander on the same team.
Ray suffered a grade 1 strain, and the reporters were told that the team's plan is to shut Robbie Ray down for 2 weeks and then reevaluate him after that period of time. So
he's going to get daily treatment. So there's a rough
daily
timeline.
Treatment.
Rough timeline of 4 to 6 weeks.
I need daily treatment. I need it. Do you ever get daily treatment for anything?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you have your breakfast yet? Andy's got a new thing. Oh, she just hit me. I'm not supposed to tell you. She's on a new diet, but we'll get to that later, okay? 4 to 6 weeks until Robbie Ray returns from the International League, okay? So 4 to 6 weeks. He's been placed on the 15-day injury list. Gabe Spire. I never heard of him, but
he
still.
He was recalled from AAA to take Ray's spot on the roster.
Yeah,
who knows what he's going to do.
Doesn't help your fantasy
team.
Anything. Corey Dickerson left today's game. Tightness in his left calf. Dave Martinez told reporters that he'll receive an MRI.
But this is the thing. This is not the first time that he has dealt with a strain in his left calf. His left calf. Last year cost him a month. So now he's got another strain in his same calf, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, let me just say hello to everybody. Anthony D.B. Miller, he's been here since 4 o'clock in the morning.
He's going to have chili dogs today.
Chili dogs.
Cheers to chili dogs.
Boston Paul, Chris from Cambridge, Daniel Ferrara. We got some great White Sox stuff just for Daniel Ferrara. Dennis and Aiden Timko are here. Good morning. Eddie Heckman. We'll just skip Eddie. Make believe he's not here.
George. Hello, George.
George is here. James Caplion, Nakahoma, better known as Chris Cobb. Laura Merrill is here. Mitchell can't be far behind. King Turd, we love you, man. Timothy, my hooker. Tommy Johnson, triple play. Zelmo. Woo! Great turnout for the lady and the legend.
And Gallo is here as guest Lovone. Oh. Are you having trouble again, Gallo?
Gallo's the same
I'll help
problem.
you.
But still, he's got another grandchild, so good for him.
2 now.
Max Fried's going on the DL. And Kyle Wright is slated to throw a start.
I have him on I probably have him on the same team.
Well, he's slated to throw a start at AAA on Wednesday.
Good grief.
Okay.
All my teams are just dropping off like flies.
So, assuming there's no setback...
How do flies drop off?
Well, don't talk about flies, okay?
Why?
Because women shouldn't talk about flies. Assuming no setbacks...
Should I talk about wieners? Hot dogs?
Wieners coming up...
Is that better than flies?
Coming up to Milwaukee, by the way.
Balls? Can I talk about
balls? Stop it.
Can I talk about cojones?
Kyle Cahonie is expected to be activated during Atlanta's series with the Reds, April 10th to 12th.
The most leadoff home runs since 2018. Who do you think?
Oh, man. Leadoff? I'll say Acuna.
He's second.
Mookie Betts.
Third. George Springer.
Oh, George Springer.
Most leadoff home runs, 34 since the start of 2018.
Right, 34.
How about this? The Texas Rangers. Okay, first we'll talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, first 2 games, they scored 23 points.
Oh, Lordy.
The Texas Rangers, first 2 games, they scored 27 points. So the Rangers have outscored the Cowboys
for the first
in the first 2 games. How about
Trace Thompson?
Wow.
Good grief with Trace Thompson, right? Look what he did yesterday.
He could have won you a lot in the daily game yesterday.
Yes.
That's for
Trace
sure.
Thompson is the first MLB player to have 8 RBIs in a season debut and the 3rd player in Dodgers history with 3 or more home runs and 8 or more RBIs in a game.
And I saw Gil Hodges do it in 1950 when he had 4 home runs.
I saw Adrian Gonzalez do it.
Adrian Gonzalez did it, and Sean Green.
He only had 7 RBIs, Leonard.
Yeah.
Even though he hit 4 home runs in a game.
Yeah, but Sean Green, he did it too.
No, he didn't.
He didn't?
He only had 7.
Oh, he's the 3rd player in Dodgers history.
Yeah, Trace Thompson is. And people want to know, what about Sean Green? He had that 1 4-home run game, but he only got 7 RBIs, so he doesn't fall into this category.
Okay, we'll talk about...
All right, Daniel.
Wait a second. We'll talk about all the games in just a few minutes, but now it's the Daniel Ferrara part of the Where's the Hapster? I don't know, King Hap.
Maybe he's sleeping in today. He deserves it.
Maybe he's listening to his own shows that he had.
Thanks, King Hap, for filling in.
Yeah, King Hap did
All
a
right,
great
the
job.
White Sox notes. Through 3 games, the White Sox have 30-plus hits and 10 runs. The last American League team with 30-plus hits and 10 or fewer runs after 3 games was the 1974 Texas Rangers. And I have another tidbit about the White Sox.
Go ahead.
The White Sox led the league in games scoring exactly 3 runs last year. So far in 2023...
Well, let's ask Daniel Ferrara. How many 3-run games have they had so far this year in 3 games? Okay, how many? They led the league in scoring exactly 3 runs last year, and so far this year in 3 games, how many 3-run games have the White Sox have? Daniel Ferrara?
He's typing. Give him a chance.
You're on the stage, Daniel Ferrara. Come on,
He
Daniel.
knows.
He knows, okay? Let's see what Daniel... We'll leave that open for Daniel Ferrara.
Okay, Joey Votto's on rehab assignment. Began his 2023 season with the home run, but it wasn't for the Major League Baseball. It was for AAA because he is on rehab assignment. So, what else?
Swinging strikes. You know, they started adding up swinging strikes in 2008, and no pitcher in Major League Baseball has more than 2,200 swinging strikes on balls, breaking balls.
No.
Except for Clayton Kershaw. He's got 3,500. No other pitcher swinging strikes on breaking balls has more than 2,200, except Clayton Kershaw has got 3,500.
3,500 swinging strikes on breaking balls.
Unbelievable.
All right, we're starting off the...
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my
Daniel's
fellow
not going to
Americans.
answer, so I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, 3 games, 3-run games.
3
Come on.
in a row.
Come on, Ferrari, get with the program. You're a real White Sox guy. Come on, let's go. How about those
Are
Red
you even
Sox?
listening, you people in the chat room? Are you
Is
even
anybody listening? I don't know. Zelmo's here.
They're
He's
talking about
listening.
Adam Duvall, okay?
Yeah, good. We'll get to Adam Duvall. We'll get to everybody. This is the only place you can go to get every bit of information you want. Now we're breaking the games down. Now let's go to the White Sox and the Astros.
Is Malpel here yet?
I don't see Malpel.
Well,
no.
he better get here. You know, this is the 3rd day in a row he hasn't come.
Kyle Tucker hit a pair of run-scoring singles. Yordan Alvarez had 3 hits, and they led Houston to a 6-4 win on Saturday over the White Sox. And your boy, Seby Zavala. And, you know, Seby Zavala, he played baseball for San Diego State. He hit a 2-run homer a few hours before San Diego State played Florida Atlantic in the Final Four. And Malpal drafted Seby Zavala in honor of...
That's what he said.
He's worth drafting.
Well,
Come on.
He told me that he drafted Seby Zavala in honor of me.
But
he probably got stuck with no catcher and only had $1 left. So.
If he didn't think he was any good, he wouldn't have drafted him. Let's not get that bull dinky up, okay? Go ahead.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
When I saw Seby Zavala in Arizona Fall League, I said nobody is going to be able to steal a base on this guy because he does not hesitate every time to throw a runner out, and he did just that.
Yep.
Plus, he was hitting well. And it took him a couple years to get situated, but the best thing Seby has going, staying in Chicago's lineup every day, is the fact that he's great behind the plate. So the offense is just an added bonus for fantasy people and for
Hold on, I want to answer Anthony Miller. He asked a question. It's Tony Gwynn. That's right, Tony Gwynn. I had that. Go ahead.
Well, you didn't say it, so the people that aren't here
I know,
don't know.
it's Tony Gwynn.
He wanted to know who leads San Diego State. And we will want to talk about the Aztecs because Malpel and his entire family graduated from San Diego State, and they must just be ecstatic right now. Yesterday, the Padres finally won their first game of the season, and the fans went crazy when the Aztecs made it to the championship game for March Madness.
Fantastic.
That's very exciting. Anyway, Seby Zavala... He also played baseball for San Diego State. Did you know that?
I just mentioned it. You asked me if I know it, okay? So, Seby Zavala, if you get a chance, you need a catcher, I'm telling you, pick him up. He'll do better than he did when he came on our show and we realized he couldn't speak English.
He could speak English.
Yeah,
he was just shy, Lenny.
David Hensley San Diego
I wish you would
State.
quit saying he can't speak English. The guy's an American. He was born and raised here.
David Hensley played San Diego State baseball from 2015 to 18. He went 0 for 4, but I mean Hensley, 6'7", second baseman. Let's see what he could do. And Elvis Andrus remained at 1,999 hits.
Astros went 6 for 19 with runners in scoring position. White Sox. Well, did you already say that Houston out-hit the White Sox 11-10?
Something like that. I don't know.
But the Astros beat the White Sox 6-4. The White Sox were 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position, and the game lasted 3 hours and 11 minutes.
And Eloy is coming. Hit an RBI single with 2 outs in the ninth. Hector Neris struck out. Yoan Moncada for his first save this season. Jose Urquidy gave up 3 runs, 7 hits. Who's going to be in the rotation if and when McCullers comes back? Will it be Urquidy, you think? Sorry.
Are you having a burping problem?
I got the hiccups.
Great.
I think Urquidy will be in the rotation, okay?
The White Sox, there was 3 stolen bases yesterday. Tim Anderson stole a second base, Benintendi stole a base, and Chas McCormick stole a base. Giolito went 5 innings, 5 hits.
I like Giolito a lot.
Okay. Well, you didn't let me finish the stats.
I am going to let you finish.
You're being very rude.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
Everybody knows you have a man crush on Giolito.
I'm just chewing my food. Go ahead. Moncada homered in the second. Zavala's home run in the fourth. That put the White Sox ahead 3-2. Jeremy Pena tied the score. What's the matter?
Nothing. I'm just...
Talk about Giolito. I want to hear it myself. Go ahead.
I just said 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Move on.
Luis Robert made a great... Robert's an all-around player. He robbed Tucker of extra bases in the third. Made a great catch against the, right center field fence, and it was great, okay? So the 4-game series concludes on Sunday. Luis Garcia and Mike Clevenger both on the mound.
So the Cardinals beat Toronto 4-1, but it wasn't really that much help. Oh, Jack Flaherty has to be talked about here. 7 walks. 7 walks.
Go ahead. It's not that difficult. He walked 6 and hit a batter over 3 innings. But remarkably enough, he also he didn't allow a hit. His fastball command will be huge this year for Flaherty. When we take a look at his first couple of starts, we'll see. But he's struggling with his fastball early, and he's finding it when it's needed, but he can't do it that way. Flaherty's day with no hits, no runs, 7 walks, 1 hit by pitch, 4 strikeouts, 95 pitches, and he left with a 3-0 lead. I got to tell you.
That was after the 5th inning, too. He made it 5 innings.
Yeah,
but he had already all those walks in the 3rd inning.
A lot of people in the chat room really counting on Jack Flaherty this year. He's now the 16th pitcher since, 1901, with 7 walks in a scoreless, hitless outing of any length. Unbelievable.
Okay. The thing is, nobody's relying on Flaherty because his price...
Oh, yes, they are.
How are you... You're going to rely on a guy that costs you like $10?
No, he costs more. There are some people that Flaherty is their ace.
Good Lord.
Yes,
the guy only
Flaherty's
pitched
their
like
ace.
25 innings last year.
I'm
How
sorry.
can you have him as your
because
ace?
Flaherty's gotten hyped up to the point that he's their ace.
Well, you might be first in wins or whatever, but you're last in whip right now because his ERA is 0 and his whip is 1.40.
Hold on a second. Chris from Staten Island is here. Oh, baby. We saw Chris.
Hello, Chris. Nice to see you.
At the Brian Ambrose draft. Great to see Chris from Staten Island, okay?
Yes.
Now, this is what Flaherty said. Want to hear what Flaherty said about his performance? He said 7 walks is not pitching.
I know. He did not like what he did. Can you blame him, dude? He said he was able to get away with it today, but he probably won't get away with it. So Eddie Heckman writes in the chat room for me to tell Lenny to talk about the Orioles. And it's pretty funny because didn't he send an email in the middle of the night that said, don't talk about the Orioles?
Don't talk about the Orioles.
You know, we're going to do that because that's what we do. We talk about every game, every team.
He said, skip the Orioles. Okay.
So he's pissed off last night. Now he wants to talk about the Orioles
All
again.
right.
Of course we're going to talk about the Orioles. That was a great game. Even if your team lost, they still did a good job.
You're absolutely right.
All right, let's talk about Gausman.
But wait a second. Flaherty threw 49 of 95 pitches for strike.
That's not a good
Now
ratio.
talk about Gausman.
Gausman was 1-5 against the Cardinals. He scattered 8 singles over 6 innings, allowed no earned runs. Kevin Gausman is a stud. The Blue Jays drew 10 walks, so 7 of those walks were from Flaherty, and the other 3 were off Jordan Hicks, who topped 100 miles per hour with 13 of 20 pitches. Toronto stranded 12 runners while going 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and Helsley had a 5-out save. I noticed a couple closers, a couple relief guys getting 4 or 5-out saves yesterday.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
That could be the trend.
One guy for the Dodgers pitched 4 innings and got a save.
Well, that
It
happens.
went 5 and 4.
Yeah, but he's not a closer type, okay? He just
Well, when you have,
came in.
you don't really have a specific closer for LA Dodgers. And,
Right.
you know, I'm all about Brusdar and Evan Phillips. But the point is, this guy came in after the starting pitcher, Clayton Kershaw, and he threw 4 innings to get the save. So you just don't know.
And we've got a great turnout in the chat room. NFL Chief is here. Everybody's here. This is where the action is. Good morning, White Sox Al. Good to see you. Wilson Contreras got a bruised right knee Thursday. Has healed quicker than expected. He may be able to play in a day or two.
And then Lars Nootbaar was out with the jammed left thumb from a slide at third base on Thursday. Also, Giovanni Gallegos has lower back stiffness, didn't play in his second straight game. An MRI came back clean, but the team is looking today. Today is the best case scenario for him to return.
Yeah, Nootbaar, by the way, is unavailable yesterday. Jammed his thumb sliding in.
You just said that.
I'm sorry, I said it too. Okay, now what about the matchup for today? It's going to be, and this is a good matchup, man. Chris Bassett, 15-9 for the Mets last season, will make his Blue Jay debut against former Yankee left-hander Jordan Montgomery. Who do you like in this guy? I love Jordan Montgomery. I liked him last year. But I also like Chris Bassett. So
Jordan Montgomery has a 3.86 ERA against Toronto in his career, so he's going to start for the Cardinals. But Jordan Walker did get a stolen base yesterday. That was the only stolen base in this game.
Okay, Jordan Walker. He's kind of cooled off a little bit, right?
He's only good grief. I'm so annoyed that Dylan Carlson is sitting on the freaking bench. Yesterday he came in as a pinch runner. Okay,
really?
Yes.
Yeah, the Orioles. The Cardinals are just loaded, man.
Yeah, but it's not right what they're doing to Dylan Carlson.
William Contreras hit a tie-breaking 2-run single. Milwaukee's 3-run 8th inning, and they beat the Cubs 3-1.
Brandon Woodruff pitched 6 innings for Milwaukee. Devin Williams, he worked a rocky ninth.
Rocky.
A little bit crazy, but
ninth.
he got his first save. Dansby Swanson's 3 more hits. Ian Happ got a home run. Justin Steele struck out 8 in 6 innings.
He looked good. You know, Justin Steele is going to be a powerhouse pitcher.
It was very cold there in Cubbyville.
Oh, I think
39 degrees.
I think and Peter Strzelecki pitched a perfect 9th inning, and he got the win.
I didn't.
Okay? Yeah, it was
I think the
39
Z
degrees.
is silent.
Okay, I'm sorry. Strzelecki, okay? The first pitch temperature was, as you said, 39 degrees, gusty wind. So it was a little tough.
Yeah, they were telling the fans to go and utilize the designated warming areas that they had. That's nice, though, right?
They have a designated warming area?
In Chicago.
That's beautiful.
You notice the White Sox don't have that crap. They don't do that on the South Side.
No. Louis Stewart placed on the 10-day injured list, strained left hamstring. And
your friend Weimer.
Weimer.
I only remember his name because it sounds like
he was promoted to the big league run. Urias is expected. He's got a strained left hamstring, and they say he could be out 6 to 8 weeks.
But don't you like this Weimer?
I'm not talking about anybody's Weimer. I'm talking about...
You were boasting about him yesterday on your podcast.
6 to 8 weeks?
Yes, so we got to then, look, Weimer was promoted to the big league roster because of this. Okay. So we'll see if he plays.
How we doing, Dennis Timko? Hope Aiden's with you. Say hello to Aiden. We love the Aiden Timko.
All right. Kyle Hendricks threw a bullpen session on Friday. Yeah. And Seiya Suzuki will take at bats in extended spring training in the upcoming week.
Absolutely.
So today the 3-game series concludes with Jameson Taillon against Eric Lauer.
That's going to be a good one. How about Atlanta with Ronald Acuna?
By the way, Weimer, he hit a double yesterday. He went 1 for 2, and he's batting .500.
It's going to be a good one.
Bryce Terang stole the only base of the game.
And Weimer can steal some bases, too, so it's pretty good. They predicted before the game. I don't know. I didn't hear
Acuna says that Orlando Arcia predicted that the Braves would hit back-to-back home runs yesterday, and then they did.
And that's what they did now. Matt Olson, I think he's an underrated player.
How is he underrated?
He just is. He's not. He's up there with the big boys at first base. 34 homers, 103 RBIs in 2022. He hit a 2-run shot in the 7th, and with a multi-home run game. He had 2 multi-home run games last season.
All right, okay? Spencer Strider, everybody's love. Last year he had 202 strikeouts in just 131 2/3 innings, and that's why he was being drafted crazy high, but he just continued to impress. He struck out 9 batters in 6 scoreless innings. He consistently reached 99 miles per hour, and he only allowed 3 hits.
You like Spencer Strider?
Yes, I do, but I didn't draft him because
you didn't? I thought you did.
I'm an experienced person. I like pitchers with experience, more than 1 year of 130 innings. I'd like to see a pitcher. I mean, I don't have a problem with them, but he only threw 130 innings last year. So either way, I'm really not happy drafting pitchers with that little experience so high. But look at me. I draft Verlander for that exact reason, and now I'm screwed. Robbie Ray, I'm screwed too.
I love your experience. Do you like mine?
No.
No, okay.
Josiah Gray allowed 5 runs in 5 innings. Last year, he gave up the Major League worst 38 home runs and issued the National League worst 66 walks. So it's not surprising. Washington is coming off 3 last-place finishes since when they won the World Series in 2019. Every year since then, they've finished last.
Yeah. They've been outscored 14-3. Keibert Ruiz homered off of Kirby Yates in the 9th. They had a lot of strong wins.
And Boston Paul's favorite player,
and here he is, Joey Meneses, the only player in the same spot in Dave Martinez's starting lineup for games 1 and 2.
The only player in the same spot in the batting order.
Meneses is going to be a bust. Boston Paul, I'm going to put it on your forehead so you won't forget it.
He's batting second, if you want to know.
He's not going to hit. He may hit like 19 home runs. That's not a bust. But it's a lot less than expected.
But he's going to play a bunch of different positions, too. Even if he bats second, that's great. So I don't have a problem with him. He is a 30-year-old youngster. I mean, whatever you want to say.
All right.
Anyways, we talked about Max Fried going on the injured list with a strained hamstring. And the thing is, this year was really sucky for these teams to...
Sucky?
They needed to put their players
Did you say really sucky? What's the matter? I don't mean to criticize
you. You really want to know if I really just said sucky? I'm sitting really right next to you, and I said sucky.
Okay, go ahead.
It was sucky.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
The way that the teams put these players on the injured list, they waited till opening day or later to put them on the injured list, and every fantasy team out there is going, why can't I pick up a player to replace these fools because they're not on the injured list yet? Yep. You have nowhere to put them. And now they're saying Max Fried is definitely going to the injured list. Today's Sunday, and you need to make your picks today out to pick up
He's
players.
He's definitely going.
Yeah, but you can't put him on your injured reserve until the team officially puts him there.
It's time for Major League Baseball to appreciate fantasy baseball. Now, way back when, at the very beginning, we went to court. It was Greg Ambrosius and I forget who else, but anyway, because Major League Baseball did not want to give fantasy baseball a chance to use the stats from the games to make money. So MLB did put up a fight. Fantasy baseball won the fight. We can use the stats, but I'll tell you what, Major League Baseball still, they should cater to the fantasy baseball crowd who absolutely has made Major League Baseball better, okay? People watch the games because of fantasy baseball. They've made the games better, and they should accommodate the DL and a couple of other things to make fantasy baseball right. You got that? The Braves will try for a season-opening 3-game sweep. Jared Schuster makes his Major League debut against left-hander Mackenzie Gore.
That's his first start for Washington.
Yep.
Jared Schuster, pitching tonight. I don't see anything in this box scores that's that important, really.
Okay.
Austin Riley's having a horrible season so far. But
Well, a season, 3 games. Wait.
I know.
All right, go ahead. All right. There you go. Zach Wheeler, last season, 4 earned runs allowed in the first inning all year. This season, 2 earned runs allowed in his first 6 hitters. So this is baseball. It gives you what no other sport does. He had 4 earned runs in his first inning all year. This year he's got 2.
All right, the Phillies have allowed 27 runs in the first 2 games. That's the most to start a season since 1895. It's a hideous way to begin.
Yep.
The Phillies are 0-2. It's just the 4th time that the Phillies have allowed 10 or more runs in each of their first 2 games, and the first since 1929. It also happened in 1901 and 1921. Do you remember that, Leonard?
No, but I know. I was at those games with Unholy Toledo.
Is he here?
And he's not here.
Oh.
But he's listening. Okay?
He'll come back.
So
Marcus Semien led off the game with a home run.
Yep.
Mitch Garver hit 2 home runs yesterday. And Texas Rangers, the 7th team since 1900 to start a season by scoring 10 or more runs in consecutive games.
Yep, Garver had a 3-run shot over the left field fence off a Junior, not Junior, Junior Marte to extend the Rangers' lead to 7-3.
27 runs in the first 3 games.
Oh, gosh. Second most since 1900. Then in 1951, the White Sox scored 30, okay? And
so Garver, it was his first action as catcher since May 8, 2022. He was limited to just 15 games last year at catcher due to forearm injuries. And listen, the Phillies only had 1 base runner get into scoring position in the final 4 outings. Final 4 innings of the game.
So, pretty good.
And Nate Eovaldi?
Yeah, what about it? He got the win.
Yes, he did.
He allowed 3 runs on 6 hits. He had 2 walks, 6 strikeouts over 5 innings in his debut with this Texas team.
And we talked a little bit about Wheeler, but he allowed 5 runs, 4 earned on 7 hits with 1 walk and 7.
Not good. He was one of my best pitchers for this year.
At least he's freaking healthy.
Yeah, and Christian Pache reported on Saturday.
And guess what he did?
What did he do?
He struck out.
Good. Entered as a pinch hitter and struck out. Now, Eovaldi became the Rangers' first pitcher to commit a pitch clock violation.
Yeah.
And I can't stand it. Don't kill the game with all these stupid rules. Don't do it.
Don't get used to it.
Don't do it.
Semien actually hit a home run in this Rangers' second game, which is notable because he didn't hit a home run until the Rangers' 45th game last year.
And he was a powerhouse last
And we
year.
all drafted him thinking he was going to do the same thing he did before.
Yep.
But anyway, it took him 45 games to hit a home run last year. It's looking up for him, definitely.
And the Rangers have scored, 27 runs in their first 2 games under Bruce Bochy. And that's tied with the 1978 Milwaukee Brewers under George Bamberger for second most runs by a team in the first 2 games with a particular manager since 1900. Okay. And then today, who's going today?
Martin Perez goes against Bailey Falter. So I don't see Philly. What the hell is up with Philly? They're using Bailey Falter. This is
I don't know.
Game 4 of the season. They don't have any more pitchers or what?
I'm surprised.
Good grief!
Well, it's Game 4, so they used 3 other pitchers.
Bailey Falter.
Good
Lord.
The Yankees, and so much with the Yankees. Harrison Bader is with the team in New York. He swung in a pool yesterday. Okay, when was the first time? Who was the player? There was a big article in Sports Illustrated about a player who swung underwater in a swimming pool with his father watching to improve his bat speed.
Wait, his father was watching?
That's right. That's how he trained. Who was the player? You talk about Harrison Bader swinging underwater. He could begin swinging in a cage and start throwing. But who was the player who was written up in Sports Illustrated many years ago as a player who it was something totally new then?
Barry Bonds?
No. Swinging underwater to improve your bat speed. Anybody got that?
How many years ago? Mickey Mantle?
No, it was after Mantle, okay? It was after Mickey Mantle, okay? See, the odds, anybody in there? Falter will not falter. Come on, anybody got it? He was a Met. He was a hot shot.
It takes him a second to catch up, Leonard.
Okay,
Keep
let's
going.
see if we can
Esteban
catch
Florial. Let's talk about the Yankees in San Francisco. San Francisco beat the Yankees 7-5. You already talked about Harrison Bader swimming in the pool. Esteban Florial has been DFA'd by the Yankees, okay? And whatever. Just move on past all this nonsense about Andujar. This is just opinion by
But wait a second.
This is opinion.
All the Yankee fans complaining about. Now we saw Florial.
No Yankee fan is complaining. Okay,
we don't. Well, yes, they do. They complain about Florial. Hasn't been given a chance.
Who?
Clint Frazier, Miguel Andujar, Chance Adams, Tyler Wade, and now Florial.
I would love to meet a Yankee fan that's annoyed that they're DFAing players that suck.
Oh, the Daniel Ferrara. He hit it on the head. It was Greg Jeffries, wrote up in Sports Illustrated about swinging in a pool underwater.
So this is all opinion.
And then I used to do it.
By a sports writer who says that the fans are annoyed that Yankees DFA'd all these players. But who the hell cares? The fans want to win. They do not care if you're DFA'ing shitty players.
But the fans, they build up these guys, and they feel that they should get something for them.
You don't think they gave Esteban Florial a chance?
I don't. We saw Florial. We were the first to say he was not any good. Right? We were the first.
I liked him.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I liked him.
Andujar, Frazier. I liked Andujar.
He's down in the minors.
Okay. Tyler Wade. So a lot of them. Clint
Frazier is the one that I guess Yankees fans were probably a little disappointed that they never really gave Clint Frazier an opportunity. But none of those guys did anything. So I highly doubt that the Yankees fans are pissed off.
And you want to know what really sucks? When Rodon and Severino are healthy. Yeah. This kid Clark Schmidt is going to go to the bullpen or AAA because Esteban Herman
Domingo
Herman is out of options and they're not going to DFA him. Schmidt, by the way, allowed 3 runs, 4 hits in 3 1/3, and he threw a cutter that he added in the offseason. He threw it 27 times. So he's going to be a good one.
And he threw 3 straight to Jock Peterson to strike him out in the first inning. But Alex Cobb gave up 2 runs and 4 hits in 3 2/3. What the hell? Come on, 3 2/3? Is that what we're doing here?
I don't know. James Caprion back in the chat room. Camilo Duval retired Giancarlo Stanton on a game-ending double play grounder with the base. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he did. He got his first save.
He gave up Aaron Judge's RBI single.
There were 4 pitch clock violations in this game.
Are you dead? God, knock it the pitch clock.
Quit complaining.
I'm always complaining.
I know. When you don't have anything to complain about, you find things.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Like this kind of thing.
Okay, talk about Lamont Wade, your boyfriend.
How could my boyfriend be Lamont Wade?
Anyway, Duval gave up an Aaron Judge RBI single. He earned his first save when Stanton hit a ground ball to Brendan Crawford started a double play, so that's pretty good.
New York's Anthony Volpe got his first 2 big league hits and became the first Yankee player to steal a base in each of his first 2 games, and then he did something crazy like made a horrible error.
Yeah.
So they actually lost the game. And part of the reason is because of that error. But okay, he's still young. We're going to give him a chance.
Jock Peterson hit a solo home run. Crawford hit a 2-run drive in the 3-run fourth against Clark Schmidt.
So the fans booed. Okay, the Yankees fans booed Josh Donaldson for taking a called third strike that stranded 2 runners, but then he homered in the 8th off of Rogers, so that's good. And then I'm sure they weren't booing that.
How you doing there, Laura? Good to see Laura.
Joey Bart was a late scratch due to back tightness. Kapler said Bart tweaked his back in batting practice.
Yeah.
And Luis Severino threw on Friday and Saturday and felt good both days. So we also have Lou Trevino threw off a mound on Friday. And today you will see Johnny Brito against Ross Stripling.
I got a big one for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
You want my big one?
Lamont Wade stole a base.
All right,
bitch.
good. I got a big one. You want a big one? Because here it is.
Otani's... Okay, yeah,
Here
this
it
is big. This is pretty big.
I got a big one. You want it?
Yes.
You want it? Say it. I want a big one. Shohei Ohtani may soon pitch left-handed in Major League Baseball games.
Because they're actually waiting right now for the delivery of a special 6-fingered glove.
What?
So that he can quickly switch hands without violating the pitch clock. This guy is insane. He's got so many pitches that he has to use this PitchCom thing on his wrist to tell the catcher which pitch to use because he only has 5 fingers. And honestly, this guy has so many different pitches. He's got such talent. And now he's going to throw when a certain... I mean, think of what this is going to do to the hitters, dude. They walk up there, and now Ohtani is a lefty.
Unbelievable,
and
man.
They made a specific glove with 6 fingers in it so that he could switch back and forth on the mound.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that great?
Shintaro Fujinami.
He stunk yesterday. He did great the first 2 innings.
Yeah, but that was it. They got to him.
to
Taylor
him
Ward
bad.
homered, drove in 4 runs. 11 runs in the 3rd inning to beat Fujinami in his Major League debut.
Yeah, and so Ohtani
didn't
didn't only hit pitch yesterday, but then he added 2... Or did he pitch?
No.
No, he had 2 hits and 2 RBIs, so he's like a one-man wrecking ball, this guy, dude.
Pablo Sandoval gave up a home run.
Patrick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead. You do it.
No, I'll do it with you, Leonard.
Patrick Sandoval.
Yes.
Home run to Ramon Laureano, but that was it. And the Fujinami signed a 1-year free agent deal with Oakland. He spent 10 years in Japan.
You know that he was actually the same draft class as Ohtani in 2012.
I did not know that.
He did great the first 2 innings, and then he just sucked, allowing 8 runs with 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 2 1/3.
But he had a good fastball, I'm told. But
First of all, you can't have a good fastball if you don't have off-speed pitches. And he said that he felt like his fastball was working, but in the 3rd inning he started throwing too many off-speed pitches. He should have thrown more fastballs, but believe me, buddy, they're going to figure out your fastball too if you don't have a decent off-speed pitch.
Morning to SM King Turn. Good morning to
fastballs.
Triple Play. Good morning to everybody.
Good
Good morning. Sandoval, 2 hits in 5 innings, struck out 2. He's 3-3 against Oakland with a 1.84. So next time he pitches against Oakland in the daily game, you know what to do.
Pretty much anybody that pitches against Oakland.
Yeah, I guess.
Oakland, it was the 4th time in the last 50 years that the A's allowed 11 or more runs
That's
in
not
one.
terrible.
No.
4 times.
That's not bad, right?
4 times in 50 innings.
It's probably
Okay.
all happened in the last 2
we'll
years.
Brandon Drury was given a planned day off.
We have
Whoa.
we have planned days off already?
Planned days off. Yes.
Are you
It's the
freaking
4th
kidding me?
game, so you plan a day off. Why subject yourself to sweating? Sweat and getting tired and running from
Brandon Drury was
from
given
the dugout
a planned,
to third base.
and then Rendon, he got into that brawl with the fan.
Yeah, I wonder
So
what that
he
was
actually-
about. Do you know what that was about?
The fan called him a bitch, and he grabbed the guy's shirt and he pulled him through the
Oh, you can't
fence.
do that. You can't do that.
And then, anyways, yesterday he was still playing in the game, even though they're doing some kind of investigation now over it.
Tyler Anderson made
But he
Wow.
actually ran into a rolled up tarp in foul territory earlier in the game, and he exited the game.
Well,
because of that.
Tyler Anderson goes against Ken Waldichuk in the matchup of lefties. Anderson had a 1.35 over 13 in the third innings this spring. Anderson's been pitching fantastic.
And then Waldichuk went 0-4 last season for the Oaklands, but I still have him on my AL.
All right, you ready for the game?
Yeah.
You're ready for the Baltimore Oriole game. But before we talk about Baltimore, you gotta say how important a vintage Chris Sale is to any hopes the Red Sox might have this year. He made his first start in Fenway since a loss in Game 5 in 2021.
He stumped, but he knew it.
Yeah,
he was embarrassed as he's ever been on a baseball field. He was throwing batting practice, he said. He made only 2 starts last year, okay? So, he's a little bit... I don't know. What's going on with Sale? I would have invested in him in my draft if he went down low enough in the ADP, but he was still going... I don't know, middle of the pack, and I just couldn't do it.
And Jorge Mateo injured his right hand on a head-first slide, but he did stay in the game. He's the 8th player since 1900 with multiple stolen bases in each of his team's first 2 games. Tommy Pham, Eric Young, Kenny Lee, all these names, Ricky Henderson, Lonnie Smith, Maury Wills. You remember all these guys, right?
Hold on. Yeah. Baltimore stole 12 bases last April. This is interesting. Yeah. And so far this season, Baltimore stole 5 bases and became the first team to steal 10 bases in its first 2 games since at least 1901. They've sold 10 bases so far this season, and last year they stole 12 in the whole month of April.
Yep.
So that's a tidbit for you.
Garrett Whitlock went 4 innings for AAA Worcester. And Cole Irvin set to make his Oriole debut and start Sunday afternoon. Don't forget...
Well, wait, Garrett Whitlock.
Yeah.
Alex Cora said that Garrett Whitlock will start for AA Portland next Thursday.
Okay.
And most likely that'll be his last one before joining the team.
Okay. And Andy Rutschman. Adley went 1 for 5 with a single in his first at bat after going 5 for 5. And Matsutaka Yoshida, routine fly ball sailed to medium left, and Ryan McKenna moved slowly to his right, settled under it, and then the ball kicked off the palm of his glove. So that's what happened. And Duvall had 4 hits and 5 RBIs.
His second 2-run homer. He had 2 homers. So Does he have 4 home runs in the first 2 games?
No.
3?
I don't know.
Well, he's got
his second 2-run homer.
Hayes went 5 for 5 with the solo shot.
Duvall had 4 hits and 5 RBIs.
Okay.
First player since Carlos Beltran with at least 2 home runs, a triple and a double, and without a single so far this season.
Duvall hit 2 home runs yesterday, so that was his. That only makes 2. So anyway, the Orioles stole 5 bases yesterday. Remember?
Yep.
So they're stealing like crazy.
They have 10 stolen bases,
yep.
The most by a team in its first 2 games since at least 1900. Had 9, the Dodgers and the Cincinnati
Dean Kramer
Reds.
didn't do good, but he did better than Sale. He went 3 innings, 5 earned runs. Chris Sale went 3 innings, 7 earned runs.
Yeah.
Good grief.
And then, as you mentioned, Rafael Devers had 3 hits. Alex Verdugo had a 2-run homer. How we doing, everybody? We told you we'd give you everything you want to know and everything even you don't want to know, but we're here doing a job that we did on Sirius Radio, but they didn't want us anymore.
Okay, how about this one? I get to say this one because Zach Eflin was one of my key sleepers.
Oh, Zach Eflin.
Yay for Zach Eflin.
Go ahead.
All right. He signed the largest free agent contract in Rays history. And you know what? When he went there, I said he could have a great year pitching for the Rays because the Rays are great with pitchers. Anyway, what did he do?
He did good.
Let me see what he did.
He didn't do as good as Yandy Diaz.
5 innings, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts.
Right.
Against Spencer Turnbull, who only made it through 2 1/3 innings with 8 hits, 7 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. But Zach Eflin led the Rays to beat the Tigers 12-2.
Yandy Diaz and Wander Franco each had 3 hits and 3 RBIs.
Rays scored 7 times in the 3rd inning.
Yep, the Rays have made the playoffs in each of the past 4 years.
But their offensive shortcomings have contributed to coming up short in the postseason each of those appearances. But manager Kevin Cash says that things are going to be different this year, even though they have basically the same hitters. So
well, Eflin turns 29. Right?
He had a pitch clock violation before his first delivery in the second inning. But whatever, I'm very pleased with Eflin, and I do think he will have a career season this year.
Now, Brandon Lowe is Lau. Brandon Lau left the game. He fouled the pitch off his right big toe in the third inning. He said it's not serious.
He said everything looks fine, but you just want to be careful. He'll probably be back in the lineup today. Jose Siri and Josh Lowe each contributed 2-run doubles in the third.
And watch out today, Jeffrey Springs. He's the kid who signed the $31 million 4-year contract.
We can't forget Miggy.
No? Okay. What do you want to say about Miggy?
Yeah. Miggy moved ahead of Ichiro Suzuki for sole possession of 23rd place on the all-time hit list with 3,090. And they actually did a tribute for him yesterday. The Rays recognized him during a brief video scoreboard tribute between the first and second innings, and saying, thanks for the memories, Miggy.
All right.
That's so nice.
What am I doing now that I've never done in my life?
I'm over here crying over Miggy.
Okay. What am I doing now that I've never...
Who the hell knows?
I'm running... I have a little behind. I'm a little behind. I never had that in my life. Sonny Gray, Minnesota and Kansas City, and 4 relievers, 4-hitter... Minnesota's getting great pitching. They beat Kansas City 2-0.
Great pitching.
Well, they opened up with consecutive shutouts, so that's great pitching.
Fine.
All right, and
that was a 4-hitter yesterday with Sonny Gray and 4 relievers.
And Byron Buxton scored twice.
Okay, yes, he did. He's having a great season so far, and Jose Miranda is having a good season too. So, Jorge Lopez got his first save of the year, and. What else? Kansas City is 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position in the first 2 games.
Buxton also had 2 hits, by the way.
Yeah, he's 500. He's batting 500.
That's it.
Christian Vasquez went 2 for 3 with a pair of singles.
And your boy.
Who's my boy?
Franmil Reyes.
He stunk yesterday.
Became the first world batter called for a timer violation.
Yeah, but at least he's in the lineup.
A timer violation? Give me a...
And then he struck out.
Timer violation. Joe Ryan.
Don't lose faith in Franmil yet.
Joe Ryan's going to start against Brad Keller. The Mets and the Marlins, Tyler McGill. I love this kid. I love McGill and Peterson. I do. He spent the 27-year-old. He was. They sent him to the minors, but then Verlander got hurt, and he's back. He struck out 7 over 5 innings, and along with the go-ahead double by Pete Alonso, helped the Mets beat Miami 6-2, and there you go.
You know, McGill was actually the Mets opening day starter last year when he was subbing for Jake DeGrom, who was out.
That's right.
Now he's subbing for Verlander, this poor guy.
One of the pitchers I like on Miami, Edward Cabrera's season debut,
was
very straight.
Yeah.
4 innings, 6 walks, 2
career high 6 walks.
Yeah, very little control.
2 hits allowed and 2 strikeouts.
And Craig Mish, who saw the game firsthand, says he will probably be better next time. I'll give that to Craig, okay?
Every run the Marlins have scored this season have been from home runs.
How about that? So,
Mark Canha went 3 for 4, including a homer off Braxton Garrett in the 7th. And Miami catcher Nick Fortes hit a 2-run homer. It was the 14th home run of his career and Miami's 4th homer in 3 games.
And Miami was hitless with runners in scoring position. And Luis Arraez, the American League batting champion, had 4 hits. So he's showing it's not a fluke. He's 7 for 12 in 3 games.
Yes, absolutely. And he was the American League batting champion last season. So Arraez is one of those pure hitters that we talk about.
And don't forget Brett Baty, AAA.
He had a huge game yesterday for AAA.
4 for 5, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs.
He's crushing it down there.
Including a grand slam.
He's knocking on the door.
Trevor Rogers starts today against Cody Senga. Who do you like in this game? Rogers
I have Trevor Rogers on a couple teams, so I'm going to root for him.
That means you're rooting for him. How about Pittsburgh and Cincinnati? Anything in this game? Jake Fraley hit a 3-run homer. Kevin Newman had a 2-run shot.
I could tell you this. Cincinnati snapped an 8-game losing streak to Pittsburgh that dated back to last season when both teams lost over 100 games. Lodolo needed 109 pitches to get through 5 innings, 7 hits allowed, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts, and 2 walks.
That's a Botzinger favorite, Lodolo, yeah. Nick Lodolo.
A lot of people like it. And Jake Fraley came off the bench to hit a 3-run homer.
Second career pinch hit homer in the 6th.
Jonathan India had a home run.
Yeah. Okay.
Lodolo retired 7 of the last 8 batters he faced.
109 pitches.
And he retired the final 12 batters. This game lasted 2 hours and 16 minutes.
109 pitches, 5 innings. It was not his greatest game.
It's not really that efficient, is it?
And 43-year-old Rich Hill, 19 seasons with his 12th Major League team, 3 runs, 3 hits, okay.
7 strikeouts and 2 walks.
Okay.
O'Neal Cruz loaded the bases for the Pirates. And this is funny because he loaded the bases for the Pirates, but this hit that he had, it barely reached the grass in front of the plate, and it had an exit velocity of 47 miles an hour, which is junk. T-ball stuff.
The only timer violation in the game led to Pittsburgh's Carlos Santana leading off in the 5th with an automatic strike against them. I don't get why was I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
Vince Velasquez scheduled to make his Pirate debut in the series final against Graham Ashcraft. Okay, go.
Boston Paul telling me I could have had Mateo, but I hesitated. No, I just don't like to make trades this early because I like the team that I draft. Good grief.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado.
It's not possible to have
San Diego
good grief.
finally won a game.
Yeah, how about that?
8-4.
Xander Bogaerts with a 2-run homer, Matt Carpenter a 2-run double, and I think Michael Wacha is a pitcher to get. He led the Pirates to their first victory. Look, what do you want? The Padres lost consecutive games to the Rockies. Bogaerts joins Machado, Soto, Tatis, set to be activated April 20th.
Fernando Tatis is set to be activated.
I said that.
Okay. Walker allowed 4 runs and 6 hits in 6 innings. Urena lasted 2 1/3, permitting 4 runs and 5 hits. The Rockies scored 3 runs in the 5th to pull to 5-4, but then it all changed because the Padres won and the Aztecs won, so it's a great day for Southern California.
I recommend that you get a first baseman, either C.J. Cron or Christian Walker.
I would take Seth Lugo. Seth Lugo tonight is making his Padres debut. I haven't seen Seth Lugo as a starter, but he probably won't.
Austin Gomber, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead about Seth Lugo.
I forgot.
You forgot?
Well, I'm in the middle of a sentence and then you...
But it doesn't mean you forgot. You just got pissed off. It's okay.
Honestly, I fucking forgot.
All right. Trace Thompson. Oh, man.
Again, Trace Thompson.
Hit 3 home runs, including a grand slam. Need I say more?
All right. Clayton Kershaw went up against Madison Bumgarner. You know these guys are old rivals, right?
Yep,
they faced each other for the 12th time. 2 lefties, 2 big rivals. Of course, Kershaw took control of that game, okay?
That's listen to this. Exit velocity.
Los Angeles beat Aaron.
Exit velocity. Each one of the 3 home runs hit by Trace Thompson had the same exit velocity, 107.5. First player with 3 home runs at the exact same exit velocity, tracked by StatCast.
That is pretty interesting.
That's crazy. Okay? Go ahead.
He did not hit lefties good last year at all. Last year, he was a platoon player, so this 3 home runs nonsense is probably just a fluke. But he batted 174 against lefties last year.
Right, let's see.
So we'll see what happens, but...
Most RBIs in a game in Dodger history, James Loney, Gil Hodges, they both had 9. Trace Thompson had 8. A.J. Pollock had 8. Ron Cey had 8. Gil Hodges had 8. And Kershaw gave up 1 run, 4 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts, 76 pitches over his first start.
And Bumgarner gave up 5 runs on 4 hits with 4 walks and 2 strikeouts in 4 innings. It took him 85 pitches to get through 4 innings. Each pitch, out of the 12 times that Bumgarner faced Kershaw in his career, 2 lefties, how many what do you think this record is?
5-5.
Well, that's only 10, Leonard.
Oh, I'm sorry. How much?
Each team has won 6 times in their meetings.
Oh, so 6 and 6. Now, I mentioned C.J. Cron. Now I'll mention Christian Walker, who hit a home run for Arizona, the 5th of his career against Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, that's his 5th home run.
And J.D. Martinez, first home run in a Dodger uniform.
Right.
Okay, so they're doing it all.
So Dave Roberts says that Thompson is going to start in the outfield again today, with Betts is actually getting his first start of the season at second base.
Because Trace Thompson...
That's great for fantasy
They
managers.
came up with a new rule.
If you hit, you stay in the lineup?
If you hit 3 home runs, you play the next day. That's the new thing. Dave Roberts said, if you hit 3 home runs, you're in the lineup the next game. Mm-hmm. And Miguel Vargas, 7 walks. Okay? 7 walks. Noah Syndergaard will make his Dodger debut against Zach Davies.
Hello, King Hap.
All right, King Hap is here for the last game. Last game. Go ahead, Andy. It's all yours, baby. You have done a
Wait, I wanted to touch on this Andre Jackson pitcher for the Dodgers.
Go ahead.
Kershaw pitched 6 innings, and Andre Jackson came in and pitched 3 innings and got a save.
Really?
So keep an eye out for Andre Jackson.
Fantastic.
I mean, if you have a Solds league, which is saves and holds, this guy is gold. I think you should pick him up immediately. He's probably available. I don't really know anything about Andre Jackson, but he just came in and he pitched the final 3 innings and he got a save, which if they're going to use Evan Phillips and Brusdar Graterol in most save situations, they'll probably use this guy as a multi-inning reliever, which we love, especially in hold leagues.
And let's remember, one of the chat room's old-timers, one of the chat room originals, Chris Cobb, better known as Nakahoma. Happy birthday, my boy.
And thanks for joining us on your birthday.
Thanks for being here. Tommy Johnson, good morning to you.
Triple play.
White Sox Al, triple play.
Zelmo, yay.
Zelmo.
And Tony.
Tony is here. Everybody's... Tony's not...
I hope Zelmo's cleaning up the
All
house.
right, go ahead. Aaron Savali, go ahead.
Aaron Savali pitched 7 smooth innings, allowed only 2 hits and a walk with 3 strikeouts. That matched his longest outing of the season, 7 innings. Josh Naylor and Andres Gimenez both homered yesterday. Cleveland beat the Mariners 2-0. Julio Rodriguez had 2 hits off Savali, and Tommy LaStella doubled. Don't get crazy, Boston Paul trying to get rid of Tommy LaStella.
Emmanuel,
Trying to pawn him off on
what about
everybody.
Clase? Worked the 9th for his first save. The fastest in the majors over the first 3 days under baseball's new speed.
2 hours and 4 minutes.
2 hours. Play the game. 2 hours and 4 minutes. Chilly night, okay? Chilly night. Diego Castillo relieved in the 7th, gave up a 1-out homer to Jimenez, and Karinchak charged with the Guardians' first pitch clock violation. All right.
That was on Thursday.
And, of course,
He
Robbie,
was also again charged yesterday.
as we come to the end, Robbie Ray placed on the 15 injured list. We talked about that. Cal Quantrell.
Will face Marco Gonzalez. I'm taking Quantrell today.
Okay.
You can take Marco Gonzalez.
Big thank you to Chris from Cambridge, to Chris from Staten Island, to Chris from Gallo, to Daniel Ferrara, to Dennis Timko, to Aiden Timko, to Eddie Heckman, to James Caplion, for the king of all haps, for Chris Cobb, birthday boy, Nakahoma, for Laura. Great to see you. Have coffee with Laura. Merrill is here, NFL Chief, SM Ting Turd, woo! Timothy My Hooker, Tommy Johnson, Triple Play, White Sox Al, Zelmo, and everybody who couldn't stay, and all the guests. Woo!
So, you know, King
Good job,
King
Andy.
Turd is the one that told us about Reed Detmers, right?
Yes, he did.
Okay, well, he missed out on him in his home draft. And he said the guy that drafted Detmers is pretty proud of his pick. So it's going to be difficult to get Reed Detmers from this guy, but he said that he could get Reed Detmers for Tristan Casas and David Peterson. What do you think of that trade?
I think it's pretty good.
You didn't even listen.
No, I didn't. Thank you, I'm tired. It's been a long
David
hour.
Peterson is junk.
We went 1 hour and 3 minutes today.
Oh, forgive me.
Okay. I love you, and I love everybody who support us in the chat room. Thank you all. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Let's see what happens. Thanks, everybody. Here's the phone number let's get the phone number in there so you can call us,
Okay,
because
I'll put it in.
we ain't got nothing to do. We just sit around here all day and prepare for a podcast. All right? Andy's putting the phone number in. You got that? Call us if you need us.
Later.
Thank you.